What if I told you that you're probably making three mistakes that mess up your dopamine reward system, your motivation, and accomplishing your goals with it? Well, that said, let's not do so anymore, shall we? Now, in today's video, I will use neuroscience to explain what these three common mistakes are and what you should do instead to ensure that your motivation is high and stays high in the long term. And in addition, I will link you part 1 and 2 of the Goal Achievement series in the video description. Now, part 1 deals with how you manage negative emotions, such as failure, with excellence, and part 2 describes how you bridge the gap between goal setting and goal achievement. And lastly, I would appreciate it if you could smash the like and subscribe buttons so that we can build an army of high performance and neuroscience enthusiasts together. That's it. My name is Nicholas. I'm a neuroscientist, dementia researcher, as well as a high performance and flow coach. And these are the three goal achievement mistakes that ruin your motivation and that you probably make. So as I mentioned in the beginning, this is part 3 of the Goal Achievement series, in which we will focus on how you can manage your long-term motivation, and more precisely the dopamine release in your brain, to stick with your goal ambitions and, of course, to stay motivated. Now, what you need to know about this is the dopamine system in your brain, and it works as follows. So first and foremost, you anticipate a reward. That means you anticipate reaching a certain goal, such as, for example, getting the job that you like, or maybe getting a good grade in the exam that's coming up. And what happens then is that some dopamine is released. And dopamine then gives you the feeling of motivation. It causes excitement, and it also causes some cravings. Then, of course, your logically spoken set a goal, such as, I want to get a good grade. So you spell it out on a piece of paper potentially, and you take action. Ultimately, you hopefully accomplish your goal. And when you accomplish your goal, maybe you get a good grade in the exam, you get the job that you desire, etc., then even more dopamine is released. And again, dopamine then further gives you a feeling of pleasure. It also gives you a feeling of accomplishment. And since you've just achieved something, you are also motivated for more, because what dopamine wants more of is more dopamine, meaning that you desire another reward. So maybe it could be to score even better the next time you have an exam, or maybe you want to get an even bigger promotion in your job, etc. More dopamine is released, motivation goes up, and you keep going, hopefully. Now that said, let's move on. What is a common mistake that most people make? And it is in fact the lack of strategizing. Most people don't monitor their progress, and there's often a lack of clarity. Let's give you an example. Let's say losing weight. So what you often see is stuff like, how many calories am I eating? Should be fine. I mean, I always get salad for dinner. That's nothing. It's not many calories. Or maybe hear stuff like, a single chocolate bar today? It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm stressed today. I haven't eaten anything all day and it's only 100 calories. It doesn't do anything. Or maybe hear stuff like, I just want to be leaner. And my question here is, what does leaner even mean? Is that 10 kilograms? Is that 20 kilograms? Maybe you only want to use 2 kilograms? So what is your actual goal? So it's way too vague. And the other question, of course, what is the reason for losing weight? I mean, I also just want to be a millionaire. It's just, why? And there are very important reasons for doing that. And I will get into those in a moment. But first and foremost, to do it right, what you need to do is, of course, to set a crystal clear goal. For example, tell yourself, I want to lose 10 kilograms in the next 10 months. And then you can work backwards. And you can say, all right, in order to lose 10 kilograms in 10 months, I need to lose 1 kilogram per month. And ideally, I need to lose 250 grams per week. And in order to make progress today, I need to make sure that they eat this amount of calories, let's say 1,800 calories, and I need to make sure that I get my 15-minute jogging session in. Because now you have crystal clear goals that you can just tick off. Next, what you also want to do in addition is make sure to review your progress on a fixed schedule. So ideally every week, for example, on a Sunday, look at what went well. Did I pull it off? What was challenging for me? Did I mess up on the somewhere? And of course, what did I learn this week? And how can I do it better next week? Let's say on Tuesday you weren't able to go jogging. You didn't hit your 50-minute jogging session. And it was perhaps because you worked very long that day. You came home, you were all tired and fatigued, and you didn't feel like it anymore. So looking back at it, you can introduce improvements for next week. For example, you could simply say that you do your jogging session before you go to work early in the morning to make sure that you get it in, etc. But it's very important to have this review phase so that you are constantly, again, making sure that you adjust things as needed and to stay on track. And lastly, you want to affirm your why, as I mentioned earlier. And so simply put, why do you actually do it? Why is it important for you to lose weight? Why is it important for you to lose 10 kilograms? Perhaps you just want to not get heart disease like your family members. Maybe you want to be fit and healthy and feel better. In any case, what you want to do here is use pain to your advantage. Because believe it or not, one of the most important brain areas that is involved in goal pursuing and goal achievement is the fear center of your brain, the amygdala. Our strongest motivator is, again, doing things to avoid what is bad for us, to avoid what is negative for us. So once again, take advantage of that. You know that fear is your most important driver. So incorporate it into your why, incorporate it into your goals. You can, for example, once again say that you want to do this jogging session so that you can be healthy in the future and that you avoid suffering from heart disease and cardiovascular disease. And what this does in particular, I said first and foremost, setting goals that you hit gives you dopamine. And also knowing your why also gives you more of the motivation chemical dopamine. Now to be more precise, what happens here is that every time you accomplish a goal, as you see in the dopamine system here, you get dopamine, of course. So you have to make sure that you have crystal clear goals that you can tick up every single day. Because if not, if you're at the end of the day and you're just like, I did something, but whatever, you don't get the dopamine. And you need dopamine. You need to accomplish goals to stay on track, to get or stay motivated. Second, that is going back to your why, knowing your why, because dopamine is also released via autonomy. And autonomy means that you either do what you love, so maybe you love jogging, or you want to do what you have to do. So maybe you do not like jogging, but you have a very good reason for doing it. And in those two cases, dopamine is released when you do the activity. That means that dopamine is released when you go jogging. However, once again, we hate what we are forced to do. In fact, if we are forced to do something, it even has negative health consequences for us. That's proven in studies. So just use this to your advantage. Once again, get dopamine from the activity by either loving it, or if you don't love it, tell yourself why you need to do it and why you want to do it. Now, the second mistake then would be going at it too hard. You probably have heard it all along, but it would be thoughts such as, tomorrow I will crush it, I will do it, I will hit the books, I will study 8 hours every single freaking day, and I will get the best exam I've ever had. Or maybe the typical New Year's resolution in January, you probably know them. I see them all the time in the gym. And there would be stuff like, I will hit the gym every single day, I will lose weight, I will lose 10 kilograms. And what happens 1 week later is then unfortunately stuff like, yeah, I studied 5 hours on Monday and I was done. I messed up the rest of the week. Or maybe you get stuff like, yeah, I went to the gym twice and I haven't lost a single freaking gram of weight. So what happens in that case is that you just set unrealistic expectations, guys. And the problem here is, let me ask you, is it realistic to go from studying nothing to 8 hours the next day and then sustaining that with zero exercise, with zero practice. It's like saying, all right, I've never done a marathon run in my life, but tomorrow I will run the first marathon in my life and I will win the Olympic gold medal. Is that likely? Probably not. You simply have skipped the entire training phase. And what happens is that when you have those exaggerated efforts, you have those exaggerated goals, you just disappoint yourself. You don't hit your goal. And again, if you don't hit your goal, you don't get dopamine. You don't get motivation. And without motivation, again, you won't repeat the new behaviors, such as learning, such as jogging, whatever it is, or you won't repeat the new habit that you set for yourself. And in fact, habits are learned. Habits are not a reflex, habits are learned. They have to be consolidated in your brain by doing it often. And once again, in order to learn it, you have to do it. And if your goals are so unrealistic you don't hit them, you probably won't stick with it. So once again, you need to accomplish goals. So in the beginning, it's smart to set smaller goals, comfortable goals that you hit, and then scale up over time as you become more comfortable. And again, as your ability improves, as your ability to stick to the new habit improves. Then the mistake number 3 will be to announce your goals publicly. Maybe you've done it before. I've certainly done it before. Pretty stupid idea, in fact, as the studies show. It could be stuff such as everyone, I will study hard, I will become a doctor. I've actually just recently seen a LinkedIn post about that and I had to shake my head because here's another study that confirms that this is really not a good idea, guys. It was by Gollwitzer. He's an expert, a psychology expert in goal achievement, by the way. And one of his studies showed that behavioral intentions, so your goal intentions, basically saying that you want to lose 10 kilograms, if that is noticed by other people, then you translate it into action less intensively. So the problem here is that when other people notice your intentions, when other people notice that you want to lose 10 kilograms, etc., then you might get positive feedback and you might get an early sense of accomplishing your goal. So more precisely, you announce your goals, others congratulate you. Wow, you're so amazing. I wish I could do that and get over my laziness. And what happens is that you get dopamine release in your brain and you get this early sense of accomplishment before you have taken any action. So before you have even lifted your finger, you get this sense of accomplishment. And then, of course, since you have this already, there's no motivation to take any action towards your actual goal. So basically, you messed yourself up. So if you look at it, if you announce your goals publicly, then you skip probably the 2 most important parts in the goals circuit, and that is to take action and then, of course, to accomplish your goal. So you get your dopamine before you've done anything. So guys, please don't announce your goals publicly. Now that said, it is useful to add some additional pressure to make sure that you get started, that you're more driven, but definitely don't do it by announcing it publicly, but rather get an accountability partner. So get someone, a friend, for example, that you privately report your weekly progress to. It can also be fun to have a partner to work with, such as in the gym, definitely a nice one. And also you can even go a step further and add some risk by paying someone, literally paying them physical money if you don't get your stuff done in time. In addition, you can also set harsh deadlines and tell your boss that you will finish your work and submit it by Friday. And these are just, again, ways to get more dopamine because pressure and risk, they're both means to get into this flow state. And the flow state is this super focused, super driven mode, you could say. And that concludes the video. So as always, thank you for your time and attention. Now in summary, the 3 goal achievement mistakes include the following 3 things. Mistake 1 is a lack of strategizing, progress monitoring, and clarity on your why. This is because you need to have clear goals you can tick off, and you need to know why you do each activity for high autonomy. So do what you love or want to do, what you have to do, in order to get more of the motivation, neurochemical dopamine, out of what you do. Mistake number 2 is that you are starting out too hard. You have unrealistic demands on yourself that you simply cannot sustain or fulfill. And as you know now, if you don't hit your goals, no motivation boosting dopamine. So instead, start easy and ramp up your output over time. And lastly, mistake 3 that you might have is the habit of announcing your goals publicly, perhaps to motivate yourself. And the opposite is true, however, because if others recognize your goal intentions, you get the dopamine that you would normally get after achieving the goal instantly. And the result is that you don't have any motivation left to take action towards your goals. So, for your future success, make sure to avoid these 3 mistakes that mess up your dopamine system. And go and crush it, guys. Also, if you are ambitious, driven, and you want to use neuroscience and psychology to reach the next level of performance, shoot me an email at nicholas.peterreich@gmail.com for a consultation meeting for high performance coaching. I coach for finding your passion and purpose, adopting empowering beliefs, optimizing your routine with time and task management skills, improving your health and brain health with neuroscience, and of course the ability to enter flow, which is a brain state of total absorption, peak performance, and deep fulfillment. In any case, stay driven high performers, and I will see you in the next video.